guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So, the Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone is up only for a short amount of time. But in that time, I would like to no-item it with all of the various 200% teams right before it goes away. Yamcha will probably be the final 200% team we'll be able to actually no-item the Heroes Red Zone with, because I do believe once it goes away, we're probably just not going to be able to do it again. So, like, you know, the Christmas 200% leaders, we probably won't be able to do this with. Vegeta and Trunks just dropped on Global, so I think it's perfect time to do this right here. Vegeta and Trunks are designed for Cell Max and the Metal Cooler Core, which are definitely stronger than the hardest fight in the Heroes Red Zone, which of course is Cumber. Now, this first fight, Golden Cooler, at the time I'm recording the audio for this, I have already finished. There's only 3 stages in the Heroes Red Zone, but I've finished it with multiple 200% teams. You certainly can get caught, right? Like, it feels like some of these bosses, I haven't seen the exact numbers on the stats of how much damage some of these bosses do, but it certainly does feel like Golden Cooler and Fu are at least on par, I feel like, with maybe like Super 17, Baby, Janemba, right, type fights. I think Bojack is probably harder than even Cumber, probably, because, I just, like, Bojack's gimmick of the guaranteed locking and sealing at the end is really tough, right? That's super difficult. None of these fights really feel like they have super difficult gimmicks that you really have to get around. Golden Cooler just, to me, he just feels like a weaker Janemba, is how I would compare this. I have not noticed any crazy gimmicks from Golden Cooler. I've not seen him double super. Maybe he can dodge or something, but nothing. I have not seen anything special from Golden Cooler. Just seems like, again, sort of like a generic fight. So we're using Vegeta and Trunks' team. Remember, that gives us, we have 1,000 different builds we could rock, right? I believe this was actually my first ever run against Golden Cooler right here with the Vegeta and Trunks team, and, you know, we did win quite effortlessly, you know, because, of course, you just have such a ridiculous roster that's available to you. Remember that Golden Cooler's 2 phases, Int and then Tech, right? And it's like, you know, with characters like Fusion, Zamasu, and stuff like that, we really are just able to torch Golden Cooler pretty easily. Alright, now we're moving on to the fight against Fu. Fu just, it doesn't really seem too bad to me. I feel like Fu seems to have much lower health than a lot of super major Red Zone bosses to me. It is kind of the way it feels when going up against this Fu fight. So Fu has 2 phases. His first phase is STR, and then his second phase is Int. So I guess the one thing about Fu does have good type coverage, because, like, you know, we're rocking a full physical rotation right here against STR Fu, right? He has type advantage for us, but, like, that's just the way that they made the fight formidable, right? If you're going to come in here and try and just go full type advantage against Int Fu, they're going to have, you know, characters like this. You know, your physical characters could get taken out, but here's the thing. Fu, in the first phase, he can get sealed. So, Super Saiyan Bardock seals him, and, you know, we're just going to be completely good. He can't kill us at that point. Remember that the combo of Majin Vegeta and LR Vegeta and Trunks is ridiculous. Huge healing we'll be able to get from Vegeta and Trunks stacking. And then Majin Vegeta creating Int Orbs for them to get. Now, Fu, in his second phase, right, so he goes from an STR phase into an Int phase. In that second phase, Fu does randomly seal. Seems like he could seal 1, 2, or 3 characters, so he certainly can be problematic. There's characters that it's like, if they get sealed, it's very problematic for you, right? Think of, like, the LR Gods. Like, the LR Gods could get completely one-shot and embarrassed by Fu, right? If they don't dodge, and, like, if he seals the entire rotation, exactly like he does right here, right? Like, there's not really too much you can do at this point. But it seems like Fu, look at his health. He just does not... Like, he's not rocking, you know, 50+ million HP, like, you know, Broly and some of these really crazy bosses like Cell Max do, right? So, there we go. There is the Fu fight. Well, it certainly could be tough with some teams. Characters like Vegeta and Trunks, Fu just can't do shit to them, right? Like, Vegeta and Trunks are the best unit in the game for a reason, right? Like, Fu, what is Fu gonna do? Kill them? No, he's not, right? And it's like, I built the team in a certain way to where Fu, at this point, cannot catch us. Majin Vegeta gets super attacked, we're okay. Kid Goku gets super attacked, we're okay. Future Gohan gets super attacked, we're okay. You know, once we make it to the second phase, Fu can't win. Alright, now we're moving on to the fight against Super Saiyan Cumber. Now, Cumber is problematic. There's no doubt about that. Cumber can be pretty tough. I think that the final phase, Super Saiyan Cumber, really can do quite a bit of damage. Cumber also does have some pretty decent type coverage. The first phase here against STR-based Cumber is pretty much just a throwaway. You know, it's just a little warm-up, not really a big deal. The second phase can be kind of tricky, because AGL Great Ape Cumber, he can do a lot of damage, the AGL Great Ape Cumber, and he does AoE normal attacks, which can be very vicious, right? Because it's like, if you want to bring STR characters to go type advantage against physical Cumber, you can encounter issues, right? With AGL Great Ape. Like, if he does, like, 3 AoEs in slot 1, you know, a lot of strong STR characters, maybe like LR Kaioken Goku, right? Maybe even like STR Vegito, you know, in the base, in Goku and Vegeta, like, they could take a lot of damage from the AoE normals of Great Ape Cumber. The other thing I've noticed, it appears to me as though Great Ape Cumber raises his attack when he supers. You know, I've noticed that he'll super attack, and then his AoE normals do way more damage afterwards. And that's the thing, too, that Cumber has. I believe all 3 phases, he stuns, lowers your attack, and he raises his attack, right? Oh, well, okay. He at least stuns and attack debuffs, right? I think all 3 phases. Him raising his attack, I've only really noticed right here against Great Ape Cumber. I'm not sure if he does it in Super Saiyan version, the final phase, but I am positive that Great Ape Cumber raises his attack when he supers. Because I've noticed that his normals do significantly more damage after he's super attacked. So that is something you do want to keep in mind. And he does have good type coverage. Again, he's physical, so you want to come in with a lot of STR characters. And then, you know, this guy can mop up STR characters with those AoEs, depending upon how things go. And Cumber himself in the final phase, he is over 1 million damage super attack boss. I mean, this Cumber fight is tough. I feel like this Cumber fight is probably vaguely Omega level. I feel like he's kind of like that, right? It's Omega, the final Omega super attack definitely hits harder, but you always know where it's going to be, right? That's the thing about that. So it's not really too devastating if we always know it's going to be in the same spot. It's like, this fight can be tricky. It can be very annoying depending upon the character if you put them in slot 1 and then they get stunned before they're able to stack or build up or something like that. So, like, this fight actually is sort of tricky, this Cumber fight right here. Again, I feel like this is probably around the difficulty level of Omega, and I think one of the reasons for this is the fact that he does, whatchamacallit, have the thing, my words, Cumber, like he can, I completely lost my track. I lost, it's gone! No! Oh, the type coverage. I think the type coverage is big, because it's like, if you're trying to come in here with a bunch of STR characters to get around the fact that he's supering for over 1 million, the AGL Great Ape Cumber can wipe you out. So definitely a tough fate. Like, this is a fight that I think is worthy. You know, I feel like the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone fights are probably a bit harder, but, like, Cumber does damage. I mean, he did 156,000 to LR Vegeta and Trunks, right? Like, we know how busted that character is, so... Let me know what you guys think of the LR Vegeta and Trunks team sweeping the Heroes Red Zone. I mean, obviously, we started with one of the most busted teams. There's still many teams to go. We're going to have to use weaker teams like the Resurrection F Blues or AGL Cells team to get through this. We'll see how it goes. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.